Today I'm breaking down and teaching you how to do this fire skull effect all in Premiere. I was inspired by the Stunner for Vegas video done by Deathfly Productions and decided to make my own. If you're looking for a 3D modeling tutorial and a fire simulation tutorial, this is not it because you cannot do that in Premiere Pro. So we're going to be using pre-made effects. That being said, I made everything here and you can download the free fire burning skull in the description below. And if you want to help me out, I made 3 more fire skulls with different colors, and all the accent effects, I made those as well. You can't find these anywhere because I made them by hand. So if you want to help me out, you can buy those in my store below. Follow my IG. You guys watch my tutorials and dare to use my effects in your videos, but you don't follow the IG. Follow my IG. Here's the clip I'm going to use. It's from one of my director's reels, and I just decided to use a similar clip to the one I was inspired from. So let's get into it. So right here is where I'm going to do the fire effect. So if you look at it as transitions right to about right here, which say right here is where I'm going to do the fire effect, I'm going to split my clip, highlighting this, pressing S, or you can grab this little razor tool, press C, and then click in here, but I have hotkeys. So pressing S, I want to hold Alt and drag this up, right click the top clip, make sure the top clip is selected, right click it, and then I'm going to add frame hold. So if you look at it, sorry, I gotta sneeze. So if you look at it, it holds the frame. Now we can bring the bottom clip down to the end. So if you look at it, it holds the frame to about there. Now, however long this freeze frame is however long your effect is going to be. So I like fast effects, but a lot of people like slow effects. It's just personal preference. I think this is a little bit too long, but we can fix it later. So the number one main thing is the fire skull. So I'm going to grab the fire skull. Like I said, the link is in the description. It's a 4K fire skull, so I'm going to select it and then scale it down. And I just want to move this to his head and then kind of align it like that. And it doesn't have to be picture perfect, but you know, the more, you know, the better it looks, the better it looks. So right now we have this, and we realize that the fire skull takes too long to do anything. So we can right click the fire skull, go to speed duration, and speed it up probably around 300%. And if we look at it, it speeds up fast, but the fire is too fast. So I press Ctrl C to go back, and I'm just gonna cut the beginning of this where the fire opens like this. So let's say where there's no fire to it being on fire. I'm just gonna cut that part out, and then I'm going to move the fire skull forward. So if we look, the fire skull would pop up with the freeze frame, and it should already be on fire. Just like that. Okay, and so we don't really have to worry about the beginning, but if we did, I would just kind of do the same thing with beginning. Now I'm going to cut the excess off. So now if we look at our footage, like that. Now we need to add the accent effects. So let's start with the background fire. I'm going to go to the freeze frame, hold Alt, and then make sure there's a layer above my fire skull. I'm going to hold Alt and drag that up above the fire skull. I'm going to select my freeze frame, go to opacity. This wouldn't be here, right? Go to opacity, click this Bezier tool, and then make a mask. Now the clip isn't moving, so it should just be one mask. And take your time on it to make it look nice. You guys don't want to see me mask for a couple minutes, so I'm kind of going as fast as possible. There we go. And now we have a mask clip. But oh no, we put the mask over our flame skull. This is what I was talking about. Put the flame skull over the mask. But make sure there's still an empty space here. So now we have a, if we go frame by frame, we have a flame skull. If I take that out, if I take out the background, we have a masked Stone for Vegas. So put those both back on. Now we can add in our fire. Like I said before, if you want to help me out, you can purchase my fire from my store. I made this all. You can't find this anywhere else on the internet because I made it. So like this, but I haven't made my fire pack complete yet, so you can't, if you're waiting for a fire pack, you can only buy this one. So yeah, so right now it looks like this with the fire. And then we're just going to add the extra effects, which is, I believe, a chain. So if you look at our clip, boom. And then we're also going to do some added extra effects and compositing at the end to make it look nice. Not really compositing, I would call it fake compositing, but yeah. So right now we have this, and then now we need to add the change, or the chains effect, just to give it some more sustenance to the clip. Bring the bottom clip down, or just make sure there's a free layer right here. If there's not, you can right click and add track. Now I made my chain. Like I said, this comes with the pack you can purchase. If not, then you can get the free skull. We need to put it above the fire, so just move the fire underneath the chain. And so if we look at this, the chain is a 4K, so we need to unscale the chain, so 50. So if we look at this, boom, like that. I don't like it, so I'm just gonna, I can either again do the speed duration, make it 200, because I like fast effects and not slow effects, and I kind of like it like that. And I'm just gonna cut the excess off. So now if we look at it, we have the chain and all that. I'm gonna bring these two clips down, and then now what we're gonna add is a fake compositing, I like to call it. It's just, I like to add a fake camera movement, just so it doesn't look like a still frame and it looks more interesting to the viewer. So go to your project timeline, click on this little button right here, and this new item button, add an adjustment layer. It can be, make sure it's the size of your sequence. Mine is a 1920 by 1080 sequence, but if you have a 4K sequence, make it 4K. Drag that onto above all of your layers and cut the excess off. Now you're going to want to go to the effects and look up transform. Grab distort and then grab it onto your adjustment layer. It's under distort transform. Now go to the effect controls with your adjustment layer selected. Go to the beginning of the first frame of your adjustment layer. Keyframe the position, keyframe the scale. Go a little bit, I like to go halfway. Just scale it up. Like this. Move the position downward to as much as you can where there's no black. If you use black bars, you can move it more down. And then go to the end and then just click this reset parameter and click the reset parameter for scale as well. So now if we look at it, let me see, we save this, it does that. Then again, the effect is too slow for me, so I'm going to move the middle keyframes up like this, and so it should zoom in faster, giving it a faster effect. Now with your middle keyframe selected, you're going to want to right click and add Auto Bezier. So if we look at it, Auto Bezier, and it gives it an extra camera movement. It's just smoother, and now I like that way better than I did before. It just looks better. You guys know what I'm saying. Okay, so now we need to add the fire transitions. So grab all of this, all of your layers you made, right click and nest. It doesn't matter what you call it, just keep it like that. Grab your fire transitions. These are from my fire transition pack. Let me see. Where's my fire transition? Oh, here it is. My fire transition pack. And now it's just pretty much a fire transition, which we're gonna do 2 of them. I want it to go from right to left, not left to right. So I'm gonna look up flip in effects, horizontal flip. So now it should go from right to left, and it starts a little bit too late, so I'm just gonna cut the excess off. And I kind of want it to start from right here, and I want it to end pretty much right here. So I need to right click the fire, speed duration, and I'm probably going to increase the speed by 4 times, so 400%, and that's roughly where I want it to end. And I can just cut the excess off right here. Okay. So first thing I need to do is I need to key out the blue. So I'm going to look up Ultra Key. And with these fire transitions, I didn't realize when I made them, but I rendered them out with very good colors. So just to get rid of that, you can go to matte generation and bump up the transparency to get rid of that extra blue. But what I like to do is I like to just go and add in a Rgb Curves. And then I like to just bring down the blue, the excess blue, just a little bit. And it should, sorry, my computer's acting slow. And so now we need to, just like the fire transition tutorial, I'm back, sorry, I had to watch my tutorial. So to make it an actual transition, I'm going to move this fire transition up and move my first clip up and then expand it. Now I'm going to just cut it right here, just so we have this excess because this is already keyed out. I'm going to nest these two clips. Oh, don't do that. Nest. Okay. I'm going to look up Ultra Key again. But I'm probably going to need those Rgb Curves. Ultra Key. Put it on the new nested top sequence. Grab the pin dropper tool and put it on the green. Now it's a little bit green. Like I said, you can mess with these settings or do the Rgb Curves. Yeah, or do the Rgb Curves method, but you guys get the gist. So now if you look at it, we have the original clip with a fire burn transition into the fire skull. And then now what we need to do is do the fire skull. And now what we need to do is do the fire skull back or the fire transition back so it becomes regular. So like this. Now we need to do it one more time. So for the last transition, it's pretty much the same technique as we did with the first one. Drag your fire transition over the clip, right click, speed duration 400%. The clip finishes right here, so we just cut that off. We can put this to over this clip, so we need to have something underneath this clip. So it finishes right there, which is fine. Now we need to cut the freeze frame right where the clip starts. Put it underneath the fire transition. Go to Effects, Ultra Key. Put it on your fire transition. Effect Controls. I drop the blue out because that's the first color we see. Mess with the effects, or mess with these settings so we don't have that ugly key. Like that, just a little bit, mess with it longer. Now we need to nest these two clips. Nest. Put our transition clip, which is the next clip we're going to go into. Put it underneath here. Underneath the transition. Go look up Ultra Key again. Put it on the new nested sequence. Key out the green. Fix the matte so we don't have all this ugly green. And you can get rid of the green by messing with these settings, but I just don't have time to tinker with it now, but you guys get the gist. That's it for the Premiere part of this tutorial. Thanks for watching. Help me out if you really appreciate the tutorials. Yeah, thanks for watching, and here's the final product. Cool.